I'll take films that didn't age well for 1,000, Alex. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And this is Thorgiween, where we're watching a horror film every single day, all month long. And this is coming up towards the end. It's the penultimate day of Schlocktober week, in which we are talking about films that qualify under our definition as schlock. And again, just to make it clear to everybody who hasn't seen us all week long, schlock is not a negative term. I know it typically is, but for us it is a term of endearment, mostly. But yeah, schlock to us, there's 4 rules that it has to follow. It has to be cheap. It has to be trying to reach beyond its budget, though. So even though it's cheap, it's still trying. It's still working hard and trying to do something greater than what its budget allows. So there's got to be some passion behind it. Number 3, it's got to have a sense of humor. But that sense of humor doesn't have to be intentional. It can be a film that tried to take itself seriously, didn't work out. And then lastly, it has to be trying to shock the audience. That is the most important one. It can ignore these first 3 rules. As long as it's trying to shock the audience, it can still qualify. Yeah, I think this one definitely qualifies.
Yeah, because, I remember, hearing about this a while ago. It's like, wow, that sounds like the schlocky horror movie ever.
And it's weird, you actually suggested we watch this one tonight, and I had been thinking about it, but I hadn't mentioned it yet, so I was like, okay, we have to now. We're on same brain wavelengths here. Okay, I have to ask first off, where did you first hear about this film?
I think it was I think I was watching a YouTuber review it or something a while ago, and then it just popped into my head again when you mentioned, oh, let's do Schlock Week.
Have we ever watched this together?
I don't think so.
I don't think we have. Oh my gosh.
I could have sworn that we did, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
or maybe we did. I don't know.
I thought we had too, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember us watching.
Well,
oh, wow.
Now we watched it for the review, so...
I had definitely seen it before this.
Mm-hmm.
So this was definitely my second time watching it. I will say, the first time that I ever heard about this is the first time that I think a lot of people from my age range first heard about this film. It was on Robot Chicken. There was a joke in which they were doing the greatest movie twist of all time, and it was taking famous movie moments that twist, but doing parodies on them. Except for when it got to this one, and it even used the same musical score from in here. And it was, oh my god. And then someone popped up in the forefront and went, oh my god, someone remembered this terrible movie and made a comedy sketch about it. And that's where I was like, what the fuck is Sleepaway Camp? I've never heard of this. And I think a lot of people from my age range first went, the fuck was that thing?
Well, now you spoiled it.
Like I said, I honestly, okay. Yeah, I'll bleep that out. Fuck. Yeah, there's gonna be a big bleep in there, folks. My apologies. Okay, yeah. Sorry, in my mind, I'm like, no, this is like Norman Bates and Psycho. Everyone knows this. No, a lot of people still from this age don't know what the hell this movie is. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll get into that in the spoiler part, which will also be the part of this film in which we're like,
yeah, this is what we missed.
That's why I feel like we almost have to spoil it ahead of time, because we have to be like, there's gonna be.
Yeah, we gotta warn our audiences about
this film. We watched Toxic Avenger, and in that we had to go listen, man, it was the 80s and it was trauma. They didn't know. It's you gotta, I'm not saying come some slack, but I'm just being you gotta be aware of what's gonna be in this film when you go into it. This one, oof, man.
Oof.
And the sad thing is, I actually like the rest of this film.
Yeah.
I think this rest of this film is really charming.
Yeah.
There is a sense of genuineness to this entire film. What happens is the movie starts out, we are following a man with his 2 kids, little boy, little girl, and they're on a boat. They end up falling off the boat, and there's 2 people, and there are some people out there who are jet skiing. They do not notice that this family fell into the water. They keep going, and then they run over them. And then we cut to many years later, 8 years later, I think it said. And now we see that the little girl who survived that, Angela, is now living with her cousin. What was the cousin's name? Ricky, thank you. And they have a mom. I don't know why, but I just feel anger at this mom every time that I see her, because you can just she is so uptight and stuck up, but also so oh yes, my little children.
She reminds me of an adult on like a preschool show who like the way she talks.
Yes.
It's like that cadence is like she knows what's best and she tries to like make things easy for children to understand. And sometimes she'll like cut away, like she'll talk to herself, but it also kind of it reminds me of like whenever like the show host will like look at the audience like, hey, can you help me out with this problem?
Exactly. She talks like she is like trying to educate preschoolers, and she's talking that way to her teenage children. And I'm just like, that world must be hell for them. That is, oh man, even if you didn't know anything about what comes at the end of this, no kids being raised by a mom who acts like that is going to turn out okay. Like that is, that is, you are not going to know how to interact with another human being. There's just something very off about her. But it is still over the top in that unique way that only Schlock can provide.
Right.
So automatically we're getting some check marks off on this. But they go off to summer camp. And the girl Angela doesn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there gets to be a moment in which, like, they say, like, 3 days have gone by and you haven't eaten anything. Let's see if we can go into the kitchen and find you something. I'm just like, how the hell are you functioning without eating for 3 days?
I don't know if you call it functioning. She just sits there and stares.
She's like catatonic, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Like, there's something off about Angela because she just doesn't say anything and she just stares at people the entire time. It's like, okay.
Like, I understand you went through something extremely traumatic as a child, but we were hoping you could at least talk to other people by now because it's been like 8 years.
I'm not going to tell anybody how to like deal with it.
No, I totally understand. But
at
it's
the same time, it's the film. Again, this is not a real person. This is a character who is being portrayed by film. It is so clear the film is like, there's something off with this character. It is so clear that the film is like, there's something like, you better be like questioning stuff going on with this character over here, everybody. Which brings up some problems I have later in this film, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So, they get to this summer camp, and I will say this. This feels like a really good summer camp film. Like, if there were no murders in here, this feels like it would actually be like, I'd watch this, like, lighthearted, like, coming of age. We just went to something like,
although I don't.
Are you ready for the summer? Like, this feels like Meatballs 3 is what this feels like.
I don't know about that considering how the chef is.
I was going to bring that up next. Yeah. That is another reason why, like, there's all the kids in here just feel so genuine and real and also like charming. And it's fun. It's very fun following them. They're all over the top, but in just the right amount of way, like not cartoonish, but also like, I identify you. I identify you. I identify you. And there's so many other films that we've watched this month that I'm like, who the fuck was that guy? They were like they were doing this. They're the one who did the thing. The thing? You remember the thing? That thing. It's that guy. I think. No, that was this other person. Who the hell is this character? Like, but no, like almost everybody in here, like I get a pretty good sense of all these characters. They're all fun to follow. There's great line deliveries all throughout here. So many of the adults suck ass in here.
Yeah.
But some of them suck ass in fun ways. Like there's the guy who runs the camp who, oh my God, that dude is the most corrupt motherfucker. Like he's always got a cigar in one hand. And he's like, he talks like a Dick Tracy character. Mm-hmm. The dude talks.
Almost kind of looks like one too.
Kind of, yeah. Like he's got, man, I do not mean to like ever make fun of somebody's physical appearance, but the dude has got those really big lips. Like even kind of talks like the guy who's got really big lips. And it's like, yeah, it's very like you immediately like recognize the way that this dude talks. It is like that old Italian mob boss way of talking. And he just runs the summer camp, and you get the feeling like the rest of the year he's using this camp for something wrong. I don't know what it is. He's doing something the other 11 months out of the year with this camp. But yeah, the moment they get there, the cook is immediately talking about all the kids. And I am not going to quote anything he says.
No.
Because it is so gross. And I will, and listen, I know it's going to sound like a no-duh thing for me to say, but that is one of my big, like, X marks when it comes to a film is whenever they have, like, pedophile jokes in there. And I know people are going to be like, well, of course you're supposed to hate the characters, the pedophiles. Like, no. I actually feel like like I'm gonna throw up when you have a character in there like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even fucking like on Family Guy, that neighbor who they have. Who's always got a crush.
Oh, no.
I fucking, like, people make jokes about that guy. I'm like, it actually makes me feel like I'm gonna puke when I think about that character. Like, that is one of those things I'm just like, no, I'm not allowing jokes about that. Fuck it. I'm not, it makes me just feel very uncomfortable. So yeah, this guy, oh God, he just feels so gross. And he's got another chef there who's clearly aware that he is this bad, and he's just like, the other chef is not a pedophile as well, but like he is not stopping his friend.
No.
And I am bringing that other guy up for one important reason. Did you recognize his voice?
I recognized his name.
Okay, so you know, yeah. He's James Earl Jones' dad.
Yep.
And he has his voice, and
Very
it's
much.
so weird. It is very weird to hear the dignified James Earl Jones voice in a film like this. So, Angela hasn't been eating for 3 days, and she goes back into the kitchen, and they're like, hey, chef, would you mind showing her around and like see if you can find something for her to eat? And then he immediately starts making a move on her. But then her cousin Ricky comes in, stops it all. He slams Ricky against the shelves and says, don't you tell anybody about this, which apparently there was no stunt coordinator on this. So we're automatically checking off this film was cheap box. There was no stunt coordinator on this, and apparently Ricky actually got like bloody injury back there.
Yeah, I'm not surprised if there were no like stunts or anything.
That's the thing. For anybody out there who wants to make a film, and you're just like, well, I know how to do this stuff. We don't need a stunt coordinator. Yes, you fucking do. Until it's that old expression. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. It's like, yeah, everybody thinks they can be a stunt actor until you actually take a hit. Yeah, then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, you guys do this for a living? Why? Oh my God, yeah, it's not what you think it is. It is an actual career for a reason. Then the chef is over a big giant pot getting stuff for Abe, and then we see someone come behind him and shove him.
Yeah, like from their perspective.
Yeah,
it's like,
so we never see who it is.
No,
yes.
But you do see the hands, but...
Yes. So he gets shoved, the pot falls over, boils the man alive. Like, it's some pretty graphic bladder
There's
effects.
your shock value right there.
Yeah, you want to talk about where the budget of this thing went. Like, that's a lot of where it went. That one shot is, ooh, man.
There was also another very graphic shot.
We'll get, yeah.
Yeah, well, eventually.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I don't know. Are you talking about the end, or are you talking...
No, like another kill victim.
Oh, okay. So... film goes on, and from there, it is just like summertime fun. They're trying to cover up that the chef died, which again...
So we don't want to scare the kids, but in the back...
We don't want their parents to ask for their money back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I don't want to lose my job.
That's the kind of guy that the guy running this camp is, which...
It's like Return of the Living Dead, like...
Worse.
Yeah.
So much worse. That dude was willing to take his employees to the hospital, but yeah, very, very similar idea. And we will also say this. I'm going to go ahead and warn people about the guy running the place here as well. We made the comments about the chef. There's a moment towards the end of this where it is very implied, not even implied, it's not subtext, it's text, that he has a relationship going with one of the counselors.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never said what the counselor's age is, but it feels like she might be under 18.
Like, and the guy who runs the camp is like pretty old. He looks old.
He's in his 50s. Yeah. He's like, these days he'd be like 60, but back then that was like 80s 50 right there. Yeah. But from that point on, it becomes Thanksgiving happening at the camp, and Angela ends up meeting a boy who is actually nice to her and is actually kind of, tolerant of her and everything.
Yeah, I think his name was Paul.
Yeah, that sounds right. Sure. And then she actually starts talking. And she stops staring all the time at everyone. Yeah,
she actually starts to act like a normal, or how you would expect a girl to act.
And basically. I will say, Angela's actor, Felissa Rose, who has gone on to be like a horror icon. Like, she makes her career off the convention circuit. Like, she goes around the world, and everybody's like, I gotta get a photo with Angela. Like, she has embraced that is her. She is Angela forever, and she loves it. God bless her for that. But she was like 13 at the time in here, and she's pretty darn good. Like, she is actually a talented actress in here. Like, you can kind of feel like, okay, she's warming up. She feels more like, she's like loosening up. She's feeling more like a normal person in here. Like, yeah, it's actually very sweet. And there's also moments in which she's alone with Ricky, and you get like that family bond in there. And you see that Ricky really wants to protect her because there's just a bunch of assholes at this camp too.
Mm-hmm.
I love there's one scene which there were like two guys going up to Angela like, hey, we're gonna go skinny dipping. You wanna come with us? Hey, why you being such a prude, Angela? Oh, hey. And then Ricky comes walking in with a cowboy hat on that he has not worn throughout the rest of this film, just so the boy can smack it off his head. And I don't know, there's just something very funny to me. Something very funny to me about...
Like, it was supposed to be at a dance, so I thought he put the cowboy hat on because he thought it was a hoedown.
Maybe. But there's just something very funny to me about the idea that we needed to give a character a hat specifically so the bully could knock it off. Like, that's literally the only reason it's there. I don't know why. I just find that funny.
Yeah, so, like, basically, everyone else at the camp is treating Angela like shit. Like, even the counselors... And
well, there's that one, like, super buff counselor who's wearing way too short shorts. He was actually nice to her.
Yeah, like, that one guy counselor and Ricky and Paul are, like, basically the only three people who are, like, nice to Angela. Everyone else is kind of is either not
they're all
important.
assholes. They're all
assholes or they're not important enough to the plot to be mentioned.
Yes. But like I said, the actual, like, summer camp aspect of this is actually very charming. There's good insults being thrown back in line, very good line deliveries in here. Like, I actually really like a lot of the child actors in here. They're very good. It's got one of the best comebacks of all time, too. You've probably even heard this if you know, like, anything about this film, which was the eat shit and die, Ricky. Eat shit and live, Bill. That's actually that's a genuinely good comeback. All right. Applause to the film for that. The film goes on. And every single person who is shitty to Angela ends up dying. And then they start dying in pretty graphic ways. Like, somebody gets attacked by bees.
Yeah.
And man, that's where some more of the budget had to have gone. But then, like, one of the camp counselors ends up dying, and this has got to be the best kill of the entire film, and you don't see it. It is completely in shadows. But you know what they did, and it is like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It is,
Mm-hmm.
You got, ooh, man, there's no coming back from that.
It's a very creative way, but oh boy.
You might even have been able to survive that, but you wouldn't want to. You would not want to. So, as the film goes on, there comes a moment in which the guy who runs the camp says, oh, I shouldn't have let him go. I could see the anger in his eyes. And I just kept thinking, who the hell are you talking about? In fact, the guy is even talking to him with, they don't even have like any follow-up questions to that. I was just like, I'm sorry, who are you talking about? Because I'm just going to say this right now. I know who the killer is.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's because I already knew in advance. Thank you, Robot Chicken. But I was watching this film like, how the hell are you supposed to think it's anyone but that character? I have no clue. And it feels like the film thinks it's setting up someone else. Like, it's, okay. Everybody who dies is somebody who is mean to Angela. And Ricky is very protective of Angela. It feels like the film thinks it's setting up Ricky to be the killer. I'm just going to let you know now. I'm just going to let you know right now. It ain't Ricky. I have no clue how anyone can watch this and not immediately go, oh, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, fuck it. It's Angela. It's Angela's the killer. There you go.
Yes. But then there's another twist in this, so we will save that for spoilers.
We'll save that for the spoiler talk, yeah.
Yeah, I felt like the movie wanted, like, to have, like, a twist, but not a twist. It's like, it's so obvious that it can't possibly be her, but it is. Ooh.
That's honestly what I was thinking, and I was like, am I giving this movie too much credit? Because that's the only way that this can remotely be a twist, is if you made it so obvious you thought the audience wouldn't think that's what it is. Because it could not be more obvious. And the weirdest part in here, there was a moment in which Angela kills someone, and you see Angela standing in the doorway in silhouette, but it's Ricky's actor in an Angela wig. And the weird part is, if you were watching this in theaters back in the 80s, you probably would not have noticed because it would have been all grainy. You watch this in crisp HD cleaned up quality, it's just Ricky standing there in a wig. It's like, oh, dude.
There's your stunt double.
Some things are not meant to move past VHS.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, it is humorous. I will say that. And the film keeps escalating from there until it gets to the big reveal. And man, how are we going to talk about the big reveal without going into spoiler territory on this? But I will say this. It has been the subject of great debate over the years.
Yep.
There have been many thought pieces written about this reveal. And I will also say, we'll discuss it, but we are not the people to be making a judgment call on this. Like, that's one where it's like, no, you find the people with firsthand experience with this and you listen to them. You listen to them talk about this, because I know some people within the community that this affects who embrace this film and actually celebrate it. And I know others who go, fuck this thing. And yeah, that's one of the things. It's like, when you look at any group of people and how there's representation of them in a film, you're never going to find like everybody agreeing on one thing, because everybody's different. Everybody's different. Everybody's got their own personalities. But it is one of those films where it's like, there's definitely not going to be an agreement on this. But it is one of those ones where even if you do like it, you have to be like, okay, why? Explain your point, please. It is.
Like, sometimes I wonder if, like, they deliberately put that twist in because they thought the original twist of Angela being the killer wasn't, like, enough of a twist.
I don't know. Like, I have heard many of the actors talk about this film. I don't think I've ever heard the writer or director talk about this film. I'm like, okay, where were you coming from? Because you're a big deciding factor in this. And man, it is one of those things that just makes you go, all right. And they're remaking this apparently.
Oh. It'll be very interesting to see where they take it.
It's I don't know what you're gonna do, but you gotta realize you got a task ahead of you on this one. There's one thing I'll say about a potential remake, but we're gonna have to get into the actual spoiler part of this. So, what would you give this film?
I do think it's like a very classic schlocky movie, but because of some of the ickier, more controversial segments, I'm gonna like make it like maybe a B- or a C+.
I'm still going to give this a B because I do find it to be incredibly charming, and I do find like the actors to be a lot of fun. And this is the second time I've watched it. I actually liked it way more this time than I did the first time. I think this is a fun, schlocky film. But there's parts that I just don't want to watch.
Yeah.
And there's parts here that's just like, the film just feels gross.
Yeah.
It just has a gross feeling to it. Even in the moments where it's not being graphic. That's the other thing. A lot of the like graphic murder stuff in here, it's implied. We don't actually see it. And I applaud them on that. I think that's great.
Yeah, usually it's like not even the graphic murders that like we are not comfortable with.
It's the characters. It's the chef. It's the guy who runs the place. It's the mom. It's the characters make like, I don't want to be around these people.
No.
I don't want to spend time with any of them.
No, they all deserve to die. Angela did everyone a favor.
Angela did nothing wrong. I will also say this. We're speaking of messages that this thing has. And when you get to the big message at the end, I don't even want to touch that because, again, it's one of those things where it's like, you don't listen to me on that. You find the people who know about this and you listen to them on that. But I will say this. There is another message that this film has that I actually think is kind of positive. Paul is very nice and sweet to Angela, but then she won't put out. And then he slowly starts to, like, reveal his true self. And I think that there is a positive message in here about, like, no, there's got to be some dickhead guys out there who just try to be the nice guy just to try to warm up to you. And it's like, yeah, I think this film kind of shows that it's kind of good for those guys to get what they have coming to them. Like, yeah, like, don't be that guy. That's the message of this. Don't be that guy. It's like, you know what? Good for them. Honestly, for an 80s horror film, that's progressive.
Yes.
I got to give them credit on that. I don't know. I'm not even going to attempt to try and dissect the rest of how progressive the rest of this film is. But for that one element there, like, that's actually ahead of its time, because back in the 80s, the guy who did that was, like, applauded. Like, back in the 80s, the girl was the one who was bad for not putting out. It's like, oh, you know what? God give you credit on this. Okay, let's get to the part I don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of this, first off, there's a moment in there in which it's so weird. It feels like the directors just saw like a French film for the first time.
Right.
It's like, I can do that. And I don't even remember what led into this moment. I just remember the scene itself. But there's a moment in which you see Angela and her brother, whose name I don't even remember. I think it was like Benjamin. But they, as kids, were watching their dad in bed with another man pointing and laughing. And then it cuts to the brother now in bed with Angela, just pointing at her as the camera spins around. It's like, what are you pointing at? Why are you what's the implication of this scene? And again, this is one of those ones where it's like, I definitely feel like the film was trying to imply that some of Angela's mental trauma might have come from the fact that her dad was gay. I'm just like, I just feel bad watching this scene right now. I don't like this. This feel like, because I think I know what you're trying to imply, and I remember, like, this was like when Paul was like trying to make out with her. Yes,
I think.
That's what it was.
Yes, like I think that like triggered her memory of this, and because of that, she immediately just pushed Paul off because she just didn't want to like get involved in that sort of situation.
And I'm honestly wondering, and this is when it gets to real stuff that I don't want to talk about this, but it showed Angela and her brother in bed, and the brother was just pointing at her, and it was spinning around, and it was right after they saw their dad and another man in bed, and I think they're trying to imply that like Angela and her brother when they were kids might have done something. And that's why she like shoved the Paul off of her so quickly right after that. Like it might have like traumatized her from like sex or something. And I think they're trying to say that like gay sex that their father was having was just as harmful as her brother, whatever they did. And I'm like, God, I don't like this. I do not like that any of this is in this film.
And we didn't even get to the
the big part at the end. But yeah, that's one of those things I'm just like, I don't like this at all. It's one of those things where like I think about Toxic Avenger and how like, yeah, that had some like negative gay stereotypes, but it's like, it was purely like, oh, this guy is acting super effeminate. And that was the joke. He's just acting like, this guy's putting on makeup. Ha ha ha. That's the joke. There you go. And then there were the gay couple in town, and the gay couple in town were super effeminate, but I gotta like give them credit on this one. They were like nice guys who were on the Toxic Avenger side. So as much as I want to wag a finger at that one criminal they had, honestly, those two guys were more progressive than you got in a lot of 80s film when it came to gay representation over there. As made credit by this film. But then it gets to the end, and it cuts to, they find Paul is now dead on the beach. And Angela is there buck naked, and with a big look on her face, like, that's the thumbnail. And she's naked with that big look on her face, and they come running in, and which you want to talk about how this film just didn't feel right. No, I'll get to it in a second. I'm stick to the course now. Okay. They get there, and Angela has a penis, and the camp counselor goes, oh my God, Angela was the killer. And she's a boy. It's literally the delivery line of the robot chicken joke. Like, literally, they took it right from there. Which,
it's like, it's so fucked up that they think Angela being a boy is more of a shock than her being a murderer.
In all fairness, her being a murderer was set up throughout this entire thing because they're terrible at hiding
Yeah, that's true.
However, I get what you're saying. Yes, I do get what you're saying. Like, I mean, if you're talking about which of those two is the actual surprise, that's the one that's the actual surprise. And then it cuts to, like, their mom in a flashback.
Like, even, like, before the reveal, like, Wasn't this before the reveal?
It's like literally happening in sync with it. It's like cutting back and forth.
Right.
And it's their mother is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
No, I think it was Ricky's mom.
Ricky's mom, sorry.
Yes, because
is it her adopted mom?
Yes. Her aunt, basically.
Yes, her aunt, yes.
Yes.
And
so, like, after, like, the boat accident in the beginning of the movie, Angela, the survivor, lives with her aunt and her cousin Ricky, and her aunt basically...
Okay, fuck it, I'll say it. I'm not gonna let you get these words out, because if anybody's going down for this, it's me. All right. So, it then cuts to... there's gonna be so many cuts in this episode. Anyway, just fuck it, just rip this right off. All right, so their mom is now saying, "Oh yes, it's so terrible what happened to you, and don't worry, I've picked out a lovely new dress for you, Angela. Isn't that a wonderful name for a girl? We always wanted a girl, but we already have a boy. You'll like that so much more, won't you, Benjamin Bean, Angela?" And it's revealed that the brother is the one that survived, not Angela. But the mom didn't want a second boy in the house. They want a girl, so they decided to treat her like a girl until she acted like a girl and thought she was a girl. And yes, you can all read 1,000 things into that. And fuck, I don't like that the movie does this. Like I said, it is so horribly aged. But I have heard people in the trans community online who have embraced this film, but they've embraced it like in a camp way. And they're like, we know it's terrible, but it's terrible to the point where it's funny. And also, like, I mean, Angela's actor is like super trans rights, and good for her. And I will say this, they're remaking this film. And I'm going to say this right now, get a trans writer, get a trans director. Like, that's the only way you're going to make this film. That is the only way you're going to be able to make this film. Because you have to keep the twist in. Because outside of that, it's just Friday the 13th ripoff number 5, except there's actually decent acting in this. Like, the twist is the entire reason this is a franchise. You gotta keep the twist in there. But, like I said, hire a trans writer, hire a trans director, because that's the only way you're going to get even close to handling this correctly. That's the other reason why I said, like, we are not the ones to judge whether or not this is done correctly. Like I said, I don't think this is done well.
No.
I don't. But I'm cisgendered. I shut the fuck up on this one. I say, find a trans person, listen to them on this.
Yeah, but it's like, no wonder this poor child is so fucking traumatized that they hardly ever, like, speak.
Yeah. It's another reason why, like, I think, like, I knew the twist the very first time I watched this film. I think that might be one of the other reasons why I hate the mom so much in this. It's bad. It's really bad.
Yes. Don't force your kids to be the gender you want them to be.
Yes. You know what? Maybe that's why members of the trans community have embraced this. It's because it's like, even though what Angela did is, yeah, we all know what Angela's mom did in here. Angela's aunt did in here. We all know what she did in here. Maybe that's the reason why the trans community, like members of the trans community, have embraced it. And again, I've got to point out, members of, because it's not like they held a unanimous election on this or anything. Like, it's one of those things in which, there are definitely people in the trans community who hate the hell out of this film, and understandably so. But I do think that there are some people in the trans community who view this as a message about what happens when you try and force your child to be the gender that you want them to be. And you can very easily turn that into a pro-trans message. So It's like, all right, it's weird. It's one of those things in which, again, like, I'm not going to get too deep into it, because this is one of the things in which, do not listen to cis man on this one. You listen to a trans person about this.
There is another thing I want to, like, bring up. It's
yes, let's quickly move off this topic.
Well,
oh, it's about the same topic. Fuck.
No, not entirely. It's about the gay couple. Like.
Oh, the dad.
Yeah, the dad getting caught. Like, I'm assuming he's cheating on his wife or the mom or yeah. But I think because Angela saw this or Paul or
what? It's Angela. We're gonna call him Angela.
All right. Because Angela saw this and she knew this was bad, she automatically assumes that two boys are not supposed to be together. So, like, when Paul started making out with her, she got freaked out. She did not want to be exposed.
okay, oh. And maybe then the shot of the brother and Angela in the bed as it's spinning around, he's just pointing. Maybe that wasn't an actual thing that happened to them when they were a kid. Maybe that was inside Angela's mind. It was the part of her that like held on to the memories of being Benjamin or whatever the brother was like, no, remember I'm you. And then it goes back to like she views two men being together is wrong, and that's when it came out. Okay, so maybe it wasn't like a brother-sister thing they were trying to imply in there. Okay, slightly less bad. Still bad.
Yeah. Now we have homophobia among transphobia.
Oh, that's the other thing about it's okay. That's the other thing. You can look at this film and you can twist it around to try and be like, okay, this is a way of reading into this film in which it actually comes out as like a pro message in there. There's no way of reading that scene. That scene is just pure homophobic right in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those films in which, like I said, the campiness of it is incredibly fun. The actual I said the campiness, but I meant like the actual camp.
The camp in this campy movie.
Yes, the actual camp stuff, that is incredibly fun. Very charming film in there. And again, if you enjoy films that just go all out and just there's no limits, just fuck it, it's schlock. It's meant to shock the audience and it's meant to push as many boundaries as you can. Then yeah, I get the appeal of this film.
This one pushed the wrong boundaries.
I feel like, I don't feel good watching this film.
Yeah.
And I know there are people out there who do, and I'm not judging anybody on that one, because like I said, there's 1,000 different ways you can read into this, and you can also just look at it as listen, man, I just like to see a weird filmmaker just going out there and just trying crazy stuff. I just like to see somebody just pure id on film. There was no voice in the back of his head going, should we really be doing this? I understand people out there enjoying a film like that. I still give this a B because I appreciate so much about the summer camp vibes of it. And I do also understand the importance of this film.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's not a film I ever get excited about watching. And I'll say this. And I know there are other people out there who it's so fun. It's so fun. And they enjoy watching it every single year. And I am not casting any judgment on anybody about that. I just don't like it, man. Is
that why you did not suggest it for Schlock Week?
It was in the back of my head because this was in my break glass in case I cannot think of a good schlock film to watch.
And you were having trouble thinking of more schlock to watch.
Well, I thought of 4 other films that we could watch, but I couldn't decide. So when you brought this up, I was like, it's a sign. We gotta do it. We just break that glass.
Yeah, it's eventually we had to talk about this film because like I said, this is the ultimate schlock film.
Listen, it was this or Pieces, and I'm not ready to watch Pieces yet. We'll do that someday, but that is on my Mount Rushmore of I know what this film is. I'm not watching it, but I will eventually. So anyway, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
All right, that's it, everybody. We have one more day in Schlocktober, and we are going back to a film that I know we have seen before, and I didn't like it the first time, but I've always wanted to return to it because I've been kind of confused. Why don't I like this? Gotta give it another chance. We're gonna be watching Night of the Demons for the finale to Schlocktoberfest. So come back tomorrow for that.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.